Hey, what's up, guys? I have the glasses on, so you know what that means. It's time for Reading with Rob. Today's book is this one, Alex Navalny, Patriot, a memoir. For those of you who don't know who Alex Navalny is, he was the opposition leader for Russia for many, many years. Of course, he was harassed. They threw chemicals in his eyes, almost blinded him. He was the gentleman that was poisoned on the plane, I think from Siberia back to Moscow. They were able to get him out to Germany where he slipped into a coma, but he eventually recovered. After recovery, he went back to Russia voluntarily and he was promptly arrested. And he was in jail, a series of worsening jails in Russia for many, many months. And eventually they murdered him in early 2024. So he's a political martyr. He was a political prisoner, and he was a threat, obviously, to Vladimir Putin. Now, a Ukrainian person, I need to address this, had kind of scolded me for reading this, telling me that, and the reason I think that they were doing that is because many Ukrainians don't like Navalny's interviews and what he has said about Crimea, kind of doing a wishy-washy answer that, Russia should not have invaded and taken Crimea in 2014, but that Crimea is historically tied to Russia and it's gone now and they should just get over it. Those kind of quotes, which didn't play well with them, doesn't play well with me. However, that said, after reading the memoir, and it is a memoir, so when it's a memoir, you need to understand it's written from their point of view. So whoever was concerned about me reading something, first of all, that's very un-American, very undemocratic, and not the freedom and ideals that Ukraine is fighting for. And second of all, if you're not going to tell me what to do, I'm not Ukrainian. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to read what I'm going to read. If you want me to read something, tell me not to read it. So I was going to read it anyway, and I read it anyway. I was going to do a review anyway, and I'm doing a review anyway. And the deal with this book is it's pretty good. I have to recommend that you read it, but understand it's a memoir, so it's written from his point of view. So you got to understand that. But that's what critical thinking is all about. And if you're probably going to read a book of this magnitude, you're probably a critical thinker. That's what I'm thinking, because I am. And I can definitely see through where he's putting his best foot forward. Generally speaking, he felt like he was being honest. The most interesting parts of the book was when he was in prison. I feel like when you're in prison and facing potential, death on a daily basis, you're probably going to be pretty honest. And it felt like he was. He laid out a 15-point plan about Ukraine while he was in prison. I thought it was very well thought out. And I could see why he was very popular in Russia. He's a charismatic guy, kind of nerdy, but, knew his stuff. He was a lawyer. And, was obviously very committed to his cause, very courageous. But what gets me is just how optimistic he was, even in the most dire of circumstances, which is a lesson that a lot of people are going to have to get moving forward. Because one of the lessons that you'll see when you read books about, not just about Navalny, but political prisoners, is that what they're trying to do is demoralize you so that you will disengage and not pay attention. And Navalny did not do that. He kept people engaged. He did not allow them to get the upper hand. If for no other reason, just to get that lesson, this book is definitely worth reading. So I like it. Alex Navalny, I say read it. Of course, understand it's a memoir. Understand his controversial comments about Crimea. Is it worth holding a grudge until after the grave? I don't think so, because we all are human and we all make mistakes and we say stupid things. He was very young. He didn't get a chance to correct action, right? Because he was murdered in the prime of his life, and that's sad. So, I think it's worth reading. Check it out. Alex Navalny, Patriot, a memoir. Understand it's a memoir. You'll be good.